think we are going live. We're live. Top fans. Welcome to. Well, here we go. Hello, folks. I guess we are live. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Shippy the Explorer. Well, um, we are live. Let's see if we are live. Are we live? Okay, let's see if we can. Well, this is Shippy the Explorer. We are back live from on another live just to touch base with you folks. And how are you? This is Sunday afternoon in sunny, sunny College Park, and we are. Yep, I can hear and see you. Thank you. Elms 5039. Thank you. That's a confirmation. You're my confirmer. And just want to touch base with you that Shippy the Explorer has gone on this massive trip, and today I release the last of the Masai Mara animal videos, and I want to just to touch base with see if anybody you have been enjoying it and learning something from it. And so out in the balcony, I wanted to show you um wanted to show you we have Elms 5039, and he said can you hear me well, and Pinkley Face Forever, yes, said hi, yes. So here we are. We're a team today. We have somebody that's more beautiful than me on the screen, and and so we are. You should bring your phone.
I did.
Yes, you're. And so we are in on our balcony in Maryland. The temperature feels like 70 something degrees. We can check it. And and I know England, we talk to family members in England, and they say they are quite
72.
cold.
72
They say
degrees.
mommy says it's cold in England.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes. So yes, you're from the UK. Yes, I understand you're cold. We have families in Sheffield. Welcome to Pinkley. Welcome to Elms. Welcome to Dylan. Welcome to Elms again. Helm says he or
From
she
the
is in
UK.
the UK. Which part of UK you are? We have, as I said, we have family members in Birmingham, in Sheffield, in London. Well, we'll better leave out London because we don't know where they are. But in Sheffield, we know exactly where they are. In Birmingham, we cannot know where they are near the town. But in Sheffield, that's our stomping ground. We are in Sheffield quite often, and but Shippy the Explorer wanted to say welcome to this station, and I may repeat it um, periodically throughout the program. We started at roughly 2, and we see how far we can go. Can you sing? Oh yes. You look at some of the video, Shippy the Explorer. Look at my shorts. Look at one of my shorts. You see me singing a solo, and it's a video that I lost, and then I try to catch it, capture it back. It didn't come out too good, but the sound is pretty good. Look at Shippy, Shippy, the Explorer. Look at the shorts. You can see.
Can you see the
No,
Shippy Explorer?
no, no. They can see it on the
Oh, okay.
yeah. Yes, I do sing. I'm just coming from church actually, and we every Sunday we sing something. So yes, and hopefully I can sing and hopefully I can talk. Well, you tell me. Anyway, um, welcome to you guys
Sorry, sorry.
very much, and thanks for subscribing. And oh Lord,
Okay, let me get it on.
turn it down.
Sorry. Yeah, I got
Thanks
it.
for you can keep it down.
Okay.
Thanks for subscribing and sharing and just being part of this program. This it's an you know when this young lady told me to start this thing, and she says she's not a young lady. She's trying to say she's 16, so she's younger than you. Anyway, she encouraged me to start this program, and I've been doing this for this is the third year now, and I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it really because it's allowed me to educate myself, partake some knowledge to other people, and be an inspirational and inspiring person in the community. Um, well, we see Elm say you are in Birmingham. You know me. Oh my golly, is it Yvonne?
I'm not
Elms, I'm
sure.
not sure for link. Wow.
No, it said Tom Hank.
No,
Tom.
this is no. The purple is
Oh,
in Birmingham. Welcome.
oh.
Oh yeah, we had Tom Hank, 18C. Repeat after me. Say, I believe Jesus was the Son of God. He died on the cross
Mhm.
for, not for, but for FOR my sins. No rose 3 days later, saving me from hell.
Mhm.
I repent for my sins and I accept Jesus Christ as my personal Lord and Savior.
Amen.
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 We talk about Job today. Well, I don't know if people like the biblical thing, but Job had a rough time, and that's what we talk about today in service. You know, Job really had a rough time,
So,
and
sorry, don't want to disrupt you, but why did your wife encourage you to do YouTube?
my
The
wife, who is
reason.
beside me, she's trying to pick my brains. Half of the brain is working. Anyway, that's not a joke. I traveled quite extensively as a researcher,
Mhm.
as a genealogist for the family, and I've been searching for my family members from 1973, 72, 72, around there, and trying to link them. And I found that with the colonial um, experience in the Caribbean, I have my family has been spread all over the world. So it started looking for them. I started taking pictures and documenting things and writing books and all sort of things. I've done my third book, finished my third book, and
I think
we
people donating.
we
I
said,
think
um,
that's what that is.
well, I'm not sure. Yeah, thanks very much. And the fact that I travel so much and take pictures and all that, we YouTube came in and then she suggested that maybe we should document
Your
my
travels,
travels.
yeah.
Yeah,
And joining
and
YouTube was a good thing.
brother,
So
I
that's
gave
where
you
we
so
start.
much. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think they're hoping.
Mhm.
Um, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Um, and that's what the YouTube thing has evolved into. And then I realized, as somewhat of an historian, and person who like people. I can travel the world and
QA question.
start a quick question, and we can start to document this. And I just love people. I was one of the most fascinating thing that God has ever created. You know, thanks Fire FN 101009. Thank you so much. Barber said hi. Good. Hello, welcome. Mason, Heatman, that is fake. I don't know what you mean. Mason,
Is
who
that
is
the
just
name?
typing numbers?
Type in numbers.
Oh,
Changing.
oh, sorry. Yes, those don't look like any language. Read minds, yes. Read minds, yes. No answer, yes, yes. No, I read pictures. Can't get the
Maybe the
numbers in.
question. Touch on the question.
Question mark.
No, it
Well, I
don't
can
come up.
answer. I don't read minds, but I can read pictures. If I have a picture, a still picture of a person, a portrait, and I can see the eyes and the ears and all that, the upper part, I can read your emotions. And that's what I can do. But I don't read the minds. Um, yes. So that's what it is. So that's what the YouTube things evolved to. It started out and we are on the move, with this program. I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm gonna try to um, to evolve where I can actually, when my son comes, who is a technical guy, he will be able to maybe bring in the computer. On the computer, could probably do the communication back and forth. Don't know how to do that as yet, unless people call in.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
I encourage you
We
calling.
can call in. Why
No,
not?
we're
Why
not.
not?
Laurel, I'm gonna send a message to the kids that we're
Yes.
online.
So that's what it's all about. That's how it started, and that's what's going on. Really enjoying it. PO2 PP, welcome, welcome to the station. So hopefully you have been able to see some of the videos that I've put out. I am aware that some of the videos are somewhat challenging because they are mainly for archaeological student and so forth, especially the ones up in Ethiopia, Aksum and so forth. And when you go to Aksum and Lalibela and all of those archaeological finds, they are difficult to explain. But but let's start with Lalibela in Ethiopia. I'm saying hello to all my newfound friends in Ethiopia, folks. You guys are great from Sashemani right down to Addis Ababa, up to Lalibela and Oxum. I went to the hills and valleys. I went and
Oh,
see
Kyle.
Kyle saying hi, welcome. I hopefully keeping you awake. Say hi to the kids. I'm telling you, and the family members. Yes, welcome. So I toured the place, man, up and down the hills. I was flying. I flew into. I no, I drove all day into Sashamani. And when I reached there, we started about 5 o'clock in the morning. And when we reached there, maybe about 2 or something that we're tired. So I only able to see one section of the 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 Rastafarian movement that's in Sashamani. We stopped at the 12 tribes of Israel. Say hi guys, how are you guys doing in They are really strong in their belief that they have left the Caribbean of the diaspora and they are in Ethiopia where they are living and learning and coping with the society. And then after Sashamani, man, I came back and I flew up into Lalabella, where King Lalabella built his 11 churches. And
Solomon? No?
no, Lalabella, King
Abella. Oh,
Lalabella.
okay.
And he, you can imagine digging 3-story building in solid rock going down into the ground. And then you have tunnels going back and forth, all sort of things under the ground. And then there's one tunnel, it's called hell, where it's total darkness. Can't stop talking about hell. You The tunnel is narrow in such a way that a human being my size, if I stretch my arm out, my right arm out, I can touch a wall. And then I take the left hand and I touch the ceiling. And then I plant my feet on the ground and they told me to walk in total darkness. When I move off in first 5 feet, hell broke loose. I started to think everything was going crazy with this whole world. All sort of craziness started to run through my mind. And after maybe about 10 feet or so in that total darkness, I say, you know what? The best thing for me to do is shut my eyes and walk. And when I shut my eyes, I was able to see. I shut my eyes, and then all of a sudden, I was able to see within my spiritual self. And so I touched the ceiling, touched the right, and plant my feet. And then I walked as a blind man. And when I got through the other side of the thing, I realized that I had touched the 3 points of God, the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, of the Holy Ghost. And so, coming through the tunnel, that was a revelation. And then St. George's Chapel that goes down. It's a beautiful building that's in the rock. And you wonder how to get down there because when you're walking around the edges of it, my heart is fluttering, in the height, like you're in the sky or on the tower or something like that. Because any little person or anything can just slip over and drop 50 feet down into the ground. And I was kind of trembling. And then I was wondering how to get down there. The guy said you have to go around the bushes and then gradually come around and come through the in through the tunnel. And then when you enter that place, it's amazing. What they have done recently, they have put some amount of electricity in the building so people can see. But the flooring is damp and cold, and it's covered with carpet or rugs. And every so often they take those rugs and they take them outside and they beat them off. And um, the people who lives around on the mountainside in Lalabella, they are wonderful. They have restaurants up there, they have schools, they have banks, they have hotels, they have all those things up there. And but in the churches area, when you look through the back rooms in the morning, 5 o'clock, the people start to crawl up the mountain to go into these churches to worship. Especially when I went, it was Lent. It was Lent. And for those who don't know what is Lent is, as a Christian, is Lent is the 40 days during the time when Christ was tempted before he was crucified. And I know the Orthodox Church says it is 55 days, but we don't count the Sundays. So Christians don't count the Sundays, and we said it's 40 days. Yes, so from Lalabella now, Sashamani, then Lalabella, then I came back down to Addis Ababa. And in Addis Ababa, man, I'm telling you, they're doing great things. They're they're the streets are paved and it's lined. The sidewalks are wide, and it's grassed, and it's
Oh, no, I'll say ELMS is me.
oh I no no oh
ELMS.
ELMS. That's what I thought. There's somebody in Birmingham. What's up going on? Yes, you guys. Yeah. So um yes, so Addis Ababa, it's a wonderful place to go. And then you have all the parks and all that. They tore down the whole place, man, and rebuilding that place. I think they're matching that place similar to Dubai. So in a few years, I think that city will be magnificent. It's beautiful already. But then as you get out into the outskirts, man, you run into the donkeys. I've never seen so many donkeys in my life.
Mhm.
Donkeys, still donkeys blocking the streets. Donkey cart going east and west and running into the intersection and having accident. So many donkey carts, they're having accidents in the Max 666 not sending you money. Baldy. Stop begging.
We never
We
beg.
never well, I'm not begging.
You're just telling his
I'm
experience.
telling my experience. Okay, it's all right.
Mm.
Send me some money if you want.
Uh-oh.
I don't even know if I have that features open. I tell you the truth, I
Mm,
don't even know. I'm
mm,
just trying to reach out to you guys. Anyway, we're talking about the trip of a lifetime. And
mm. Thank
oh,
you.
thank
Thank
you
you.
anyway. God
Mhm,
bless you. Blessings. Stop begging. Oh
mhm,
my golly. Anyway, we were in back in Addis Ababa. Now we're gonna go up into
I thought you were gonna describe that farm, the animal
yes, we're gonna
safari
talk about that with
today.
yes. So I'm leaving. See you later.
Mm.
Um so that's you go into Oxum. And Oxum is reported to be one of the great empires even before the Egyptian empire. And there, there you are.
What
What was
was
your
your favorite
favorite
food
food in
in
Addis?
Addis?
You know, surprisingly, the lentil stew,
Mm,
some kind of beans. They would cook a bean because they weren't cooking any meat
at that time.
at that time when I went.
Mhm,
So I was starving for meat,
mhm,
but they put a bunch of beans on a plate, and we were able to get finally got some meat in one of the restaurants. And my golly, that food, that bean with the in Gary
mhm.
was top of the line, much better than the meat. This is boring. Don't give handouts blocked.
Yeah,
Anyway,
don't read the negative. Just
anyway,
go on
that's
with
all right.
positive. Positive
Positive
feelings.
feeling for the
Positive
vibration,
vibes.
Max. Anyway, that's so that's what's happening. So Oxum, you go up there, the Stella, and they are these things have been planted in the ground. One of them was 170 something ton thousand 170 something tons,
Not
something
sure.
like that, and 30, 40 feet high. But it's so heavy that it got blown over. It got blown over. So that's what was happening in Oxum. A lot of the grave markers, they are they have blown over.
for the
They're
damage.
damaged.
Mm.
But you can imagine they're cutting this thing 40, 50 feet in solid rock and then raising it up above the grave. And they need a lot of archaeological and students in that place there when they start to dig again, because since the war and COVID and all that, they they haven't they've stopped doing that that they're digging. So they're finding graves, and even the other day they were the guys in the field in near Queen of Sheba's palace was they were still finding coins. But let me tell you about Queen of Sheba. Queen of Sheba is also reported to be from Oxum. She she King Solomon um was is purported to be the wisest man in the world. Queen Sheba wanted some wisdom and some understanding from King Solomon, so she made a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. And when she went up, the the King Solomon, their story in Oxum said King Solomon told her not to touch. There's agreement that she's not supposed to touch anything valuable in the palace. And they must have had a party for them. And then she late at night she got thirsty, and she broke the agreement. She went out and touched a drink, maybe a bottle of wine or something like that, and King Solomon saw it. So when she broke the agreement, that was um, God's. He thinks that's God's indication that he's supposed to have a son by Queen of Sheba. So anyway, he they got together and she got pregnant, and then she left Jerusalem, and in our way back home, she took the pilgrimage is so long that she had the baby in Eritrea, if I'm not pronouncing it right.
Mhm.
And what happened? The boy grew up, and Queen of Sheba, she had gotten a seal from the king, and then what happened? She um, she put the seal on the boy and sent him back to Jerusalem. So when King Solomon saw his son, when he saw the son, he recognized the son right away. He spent some time in um, Jerusalem, and then he was he planned to come back home. But you know what? When he was coming back home, the Jewish people from 12,000 from each tribe of Israel decide to follow him back to, to Oxum. And that means 12, 12 is 144,000 people followed the son back on his way back. And when they came back and they crossed either the Red Sea or the Nile or something, they came to the sea, King Solomon found out that they had taken the Ark of the Covenant, the Ark of the Covenant, a very important thing, and with them, and made a false one and left it there. So by the time he realized that they had stole the Ark of the Covenant, it was too late. So they brought the Ark of the Covenant into Oxum and hid it on top of the mountain for
Mhm.
years. Then later on, they brought it down into town and put it into a church. So when they when they when they have had the Ark of the Covenant in that church, the ark the ark was the church was destroyed by another person who didn't believe in the religion, and so they moved it into the I don't even remember what they call it. It's not the chapel or anything, but over the convent or something like that.
Yeah, they have a
Over in a
building.
building.
Mm.
And there they kept it for a little while until recently, well, some years ago, it's reported that they move it into the St. Mary's, the special building right across from the St. Mary um, church. And man, when I was there and see the thousands of people coming out of St. Mary's church, who had just worshipped, the street in Oxum was blocked. So that's so that's what happened. Those people I purported take their religion seriously, and mainly women. I'm surprised. And there in Oxum, we we were able to, as tourists, we were able to go into the museum. We were able to go into the church, but as a all the group couldn't go over into the old building. Only men are allowed in that building. So, but over in that building, you have the one of the oldest Bibles in the world, over 1,000 years old, made out of goat skin. They killed 300 and something goats to and to um use the skin
Make the
to make the
Bible.
Bible. And when you look at the goat skin, it's still not damaged, or it has the dark marks on the left side. Remind you that you're watching Shippy the Explorer, folks, giving you an update of this trip. Update of the trip to Ethiopia and
Kenya.
Kenya.
Mhm.
Now let's go into Kenya.
Don't
Max,
connect
what are
here.
you on?
Don't respond to Max. He's
Oh, there's
negative.
Robert saying, how are you doing? We're doing fine. Welcome. Dude is trying to scam people. Okay. All right. So let's go into Kenya, folks. You know, in Ethiopia is just north of Kenya. The land is joined, the two countries join line and line. We say in Jamaica, it's a line and line. And believe it or not, while Ethiopia is hot and dry and stony and rocky, people are farming on the rocks and using the cows to pull to still plow the field. It's amazing that in Kenya it's green and watery and rainy and cool.
Mm. Get the rain.
The same, the land, the country side by side, and we're finding that there's so many, there's so much difference. Yeah. So anyway, the let me explain now. So in Kenya now, I stopped at Nairobi and had my first taste of um not injari, it's
Oh, golly.
ugali
Mhm.
with some soup and cabbage and the thing. And thanks to those guys at the near the airport, the Nairobi Hut Inn. Thanks. Hi, how you guys are doing? Hope you're doing okay. Thanks for really hosting me. And that was my first taste of ugali. And then the next day, I was on my way to Neboanse, Migoria, Neboanse, and Ayamaro's Villa Menegin, and that's where the excitement started. And it rained every afternoon. We saw the people in the cornfield. Is that you? Yes.
Who is it?
I don't know. Mike,
You.
Mike Chest, Mike Rot,
Not
Rochard.
sure. Just continue.
Yeah. Don't make up the name. Yes, and it's amazing though. The people are in their field planting maize and what you call it, maize or corn, and very, very. Some are planting, some are weeding, some are reaping. Various stages of corn, and every chance they get, they cook that corn. Make and ugali. And I explained it the other day that it's a matter of like it's turned cornmeal in Jamaica.
Mm.
How we do turn cornmeal in Jamaica?
It's just the cornmeal and the, although I've never make it before,
Have
the
talk.
liquid
Yeah.
and the cornmeal. Some people
You never
season
make
it.
turn cornmeal in Jamaica?
No, no, I've never.
Lord, she's from Jamaica and she never make turn
That's right.
cornmeal.
That's not one of my
But you
favorite.
had it though. You eat it.
Yeah, I
Oh, we used to
tasted
cook
it
it for you.
before. I don't even remember. But
Your
because my
grandmother.
grandmother, I
She
don't
never used to.
remember her cooking third cornmeal. But I hear my mom said
Hi, Tori.
she like turned
Good.
cornmeal and she put fish, saltfish in it and season it up.
Yeah,
But
it's yeah.
I've never had that
Well, turned
experience.
cornmeal in Jamaica is one of the quickest thing to make because what happened, if you guys know about the Caribbean and the Western world, it's part of the Great Triangular slave movement. So we grew up with what they call turned cornmeal. You take the cornmeal, you put it in the with some water and water it down, and then you put it in a pot and then start to boil it. And as you boils, you have to turn it because if you don't turn it, it gets lumpy. But in that cornmeal, we put, as Shirley's saying, they put fish
Yeah,
or
some
pork
um
or some kind of protein
and seasoning.
and seasoning, salt, and so forth. And when it's finished, it's a one pot meal and very fast. In a space of maybe half an hour, you can have something to eat. So the slaves, that was slave food, folks. So you find that some of the people them in the Caribbean don't like turned cornmeal because they regard it as slave food. They're going against it. They really don't like it.
But nowadays I heard that that's one of the dish that and the rice.
Yeah.
People doing turned cornmeal.
Oh yeah. Mike is saying some people folks say they can't believe Jamaica. We have a bobsledge team. Yes, over these years, and we almost won too.
Okay, excuse me a little bit.
Yeah.
Excuse
Oh,
me.
it's too hot.
No, no.
Yeah. Almost. Yeah. So yeah. So there we go. Turn cornmeal, folks. That's quickest thing. So that I would imagine some people have a phobia against it because you don't want to be associated with yourself with slavery. Yes, hello everyone. Meg, welcome to this station, Shippy the Explorer, and just love to have you guys here just to talk about this trip. So we are talking about Ogali and turned cornmeal, folks. So what's the difference between Ogali and turned cornmeal? You guys tell me, but I'm gonna tell you, Ogali is the same basically ingredient or the ingredients, but I think I would say ingredient because I don't even know if you guys put salt in that thing. You maybe put a little salt, but you turn and you flip it over and over until the flipping causes the members of the corn kernels or corn, the material to build up a kind of a gummy feel. And so it's gummy and almost like a pudding in their gully. But in the turn common, we don't turn it that long. we just cook it and turn in the meat and the fish and everything. So you don't have that chance of the gumminess coming out. If you take a product, even a potato, and you beat it long enough, you'll bring out that that gummy feeling. You do the same thing with fish. So it's the same basic product, but Gali has less ingredients, but more turning. And turn cornmeal is, but I'm telling you, in the Caribbean now, turned cornmeal, you can't even buy that. It's almost like an exotic meal. You get a good plate of turned cornmeal, hot and steamy, with fish, maybe some tilapia and some codfish in it, and for those of you who eat pork, some pork chops, pork um, chunks, and well, some people don't eat pork, so let's go from that. Let's put beef in it, and let's stay. I tell you. So that, and it put in the onion, the scallion, and the pepper, and then you start to turn that, and you're gone to bed. When you finish eating that, you just need to drink a glass of water, or if you're in the countryside, you get a coconut, and you just fall asleep. If it's during the day, you go under the mango tree, you sit down, you're gonna just fall asleep, and it's called nigritis. There you go, folks, nigritis. Belly full and sleepy. So that's what happened. And in Kenya, they don't seem to use a lot of spices. And that was one of the most surprising thing to me. That welcome, Roy. And so that's my experience there. So after a few days of being in Nairobi, well, not Nairobi, but Neboanse, I wanted to go to the Masai Mara, and my host could not take me, and because of certain reasons, and so I was able to get a bus ride. I got the safari contract, and they said the best thing to do is take the bus into, um, I think it was the place called Oxum or something like that. Anyway, let me see if I can find the name. Norwalk. Yes, I find my notes. Also get myself in the Norwalk. Started to drive 7 o'clock that night in the bus, and when about 12 o'clock we stop at a food place, and lo and behold, I have the agent talk to the driver and say to tell him to drop me off. Thank you, Robert. You watched the video, the safari today. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it. And they're supposed to drop me off in Norwalk. Norwalk has two stations. Norwalk has the food station, and Norwalk has the Maasai station. So when you stop at the food station, you get refill, you get food, you get coffee, you get fries, use the bathroom and everything. That's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I asked the person to get straight and said the place I'm dropping me off is 15 minutes down the road. Norwalk, Mesa. Man, the people they started to drive like crazy, and they didn't stop. I'm wondering where they're going, and I said they must have reached a place long time. Hold and behold, when they stopped, I was back in the capital, Nairobi, Kenya, boss. So I drove all night. When I checked the where I'm supposed to be picked up, I was 2 hours away. 2 hours away. Ben Stroken off. Hello, and welcome. And so I was pretty upset and feel like I was lost. Anyway, I called the agent, and the agent so happened to be in the city. And she said, you know what? You're too far to come back to get picked up. By the time you come back, it will be too late to go to the Masai Mara. And so the best thing to do is flying. So she rushed me to the airport, the local airport, and we got a ticket. And here I am. I flew into the Masai Mara like a rich, like a millionaire, because on that plane there was only six of us, folks. So my ticket was very expensive. Well, somehow I could afford it, but much more expensive than a regular flight. And I can see why, because only six of us were on the plane. Anyway, flew into Masai Mara, landing on the dirt strip, and then my guide, my safari guy, he drove like crazy cross country, a hour and a half to meet me in the Masai Mara. And that's where we are today, because yesterday I released the first video, and this morning I was so excited. I released the other two, because after I finished watching the second one, man, I wanted more. I myself wanted more. I was in the Masai Mara watching these animals, and I wanted to see more of those animals. But the whole big story about this is that the guide we drove the whole thing. He wanted to show me the big five, man. The big five. Don't make a mistake. What are the big fives? The big five, big one is elephant. The next one is rhinoceros. The rhinoceros. The next one is a lion. The next one is the cheetah, or yes, one of those. And the next one is the big black bull, the African bull, not the wildebeest, but the big black bad bull. And I'm all right, Robbies. Good to see you. Welcome. So those are the five. You would think the giraffe. You would think the giraffe is one. You would think the bad hippopotamus is one of the big fives, but no. The guide, what's the stipulation for being part of the big five? The guide told me, and the guide said those fives are the most difficult ones to kill. They are the most difficult ones to kill. And so that's the big five. So we were able to see the elephant and the think about it. Maybe I just saw maybe two, because I was able to see the elephant and the buffalo, and did not see the lion, did not see the rhinoceros, and did not see a jaguar, cheetah, or whatever that was. Oh, I followed you, but you never follow. Oh, Robbie, follow me back. Well, I need to look you up. Um, it's Robbie. Let me write that down. Robbie Esther 254. Okay, I'll look you up. I'll look you up and see you. Um, yeah, I normally like to respond back to people. So sorry I missed you for some reason. Um, but I'm fine. Thanks for tuning in and listening to this thing. So to really think about it, I must have only seen two of the big fives. Anyway, we search all day. That Masai Mara is magnificent. I mean, massive, massive. I'm telling you, it's And you can imagine hundreds of animals are just sitting there, just roaming back and forth. The sorry, the the lions we searched all day, we couldn't find any. The crocodiles we couldn't find any because I think because of the flood, they were having some serious floods in that region. The Masai River was 40 feet high, folks, 40 feet high. And that's the reason why I could drive in from the end I was coming. I was gonna come from Nebo Anse, and Nebo Anse, I wanted to let you know, is the most southern town or village in Kenya. As soon as you come out of Nebo Anse and go through the fence, you are in Tanzania. So it's the most southern part of Kenya. So I was supposed to drive through that area, go through Tanzania, and then go into the Masai Mara, and that didn't work. So I had to be flown in by default. But I came in as a aristocratic. When I landed in the plane, the military guys were asking me who I was because maybe I look strange, or they just wanted to find out who I was. Anyway, that's where we are. So the some of you have seen those videos and pictures of the Masai Mara, and I I don't remember the size of it. It's I think it's 100 and something thousand. I don't remember. I would have to look it up. But it's massive. We saw one set of elephants, and by the time another hour or so, I saw another set of animals and thought they were the same. And the guy said, "No." The guide said, "No, you realize how far you are? You are you are 60 kilometers away from where you started this morning." But it's amazing to see how the animals they group up, and the the, the wild boars are by themselves, the elephants are by themselves, the Toby are by themselves, the the hippopotamus are by themselves, and but at the same time they are part of this massive landscape. And there was one time that we went up to the Masai River, and the rangers were supposed to try and find the crocodiles. And until now, we can't find the crocodiles. We don't know where they're hiding. But they're there. We saw the tails where they drag themselves through the mud on the banks of the river. So they are there, but maybe they're in the water somewhere, just relaxing, hiding. Yeah. So that's yeah. So that's the but it's amazing to see. One of the most dramatic thing was to see how the elephants operate. Now the elephants, um, they they keep in groups, and it's a matriarch, a mother, and her calves, and young and old, but no male stays with that group. And what as soon as you drive up towards the elephants, what they did, they slowly form a barrier on the outskirt, and and then they keep the young ones inside. They keep the young ones just inside. So you, as a lion or a human being, you can't penetrate into that circle. They are protecting, and it was fascinating to see only women and babies in those group, and then the big bulls they're just by themselves. And love the birds. We saw the eagle, the African eagle. I can't remember the name, and saw the secretary bird, and and Um, the giraffes, I'm telling you, man, they look like they're about 50 feet tall. They're high. Yeah. It's Irene. I think it's I. How are you doing, Irene? Welcome to the to the live. Shippy the Explorer. Remind you guys, the only thing I'm begging is that if you haven't subscribed to the station as yet, you can just subscribe. Go over to the regular station and subscribe, and so we can keep you abreast of what I do, whether in Maryland, Jamaica, Australia, Europe, England, or back to Africa. I'm telling you, folks, Africa has a lot to offer. Yeah. So one of the hardest thing on the safari is to get food for the human being, and they have a number of restaurants on the safari. Oh, Robert is asking how much to go on the safari. Well, the plane ticket was roughly $200 from Nairobi, one way, 30 minutes. That was that. When you reach the safari, you have to pay a fee of 100 US dollars. So you're paying 200 for the flight, um, 100 for the entrance fee, and then if you have a guide, I paid another 200 and something dollars per day for the vehicle. So I would imagine if you have that's 250 and three, four, five, you're a little over $500. You can get into the to the safari for a 1 day trip. If you're gonna stay over now, that's where they charge you. I think they charge 200 and something dollars per night, and per night for the hotel, and that I think comes with breakfast. I think breakfast, lunch, and dinner, if I'm not mistaken. But that's expensive. But a 1 day trip, I would imagine, I would safely say, if you have $600, you can do a 1 day trip into the safari. Basically, that's what I did. Yeah. So, um, so yes. So the fact that it was raining, it caused the safari grass to grow so tall. Even myself, I'm about 5 feet 10. If I stood in the grass, I would be covered. At some part, and some parts of the safari, the grass wasn't high, but in some parts it was. I'm sorry, it was really high, and so the animals. I suspect the lions. They could the lions could really lie down there and keep quiet and don't budge all day. But I was amazed because if they're lying down, you want to tell me they're not gonna eat? There must be some time of the day they feel like getting up and go eat something, go run down a toby or um, a deer or something like that, and never see that movement. And the other theory is that the wildebeest they had migrated to Tanzania. So in July, coming up in June, July, mainly in August, I think the Great Migration. I think it's starting. So I'm not sure if the lions they go to the next country to come back with them. So it's possible that they had gone out of the country. But we searched, and other rangers searched, and everybody communicating all day to see if we could, if anybody found group of lion and they couldn't find any. Nobody was able to see any that time. Yeah. So so that's the so that's where we are. So what we are gonna do now is Shippy the Explorer. We are back. I'm gonna take you back now into Neboanse. Yes, I feel safe walking around. Robert is asking if I felt safe walking around the safari. Here, the number one rule on the safari is that you're not supposed to walk. You stay in that van. The only place you walk is when you reach the hotels or reach the a safe place. Then you can walk to the bathroom or walk within the hotel grounds. This um well, yes, I did walk, but I was walking with the ranger near the Masai River. But you realize he had his gun. You had He had his shotgun. Whether I don't know if it was a single shot or whatever it was. Didn't pay attention. But yes, they walked with the gun at that point and took us around. So I felt safe. It was a little bit hot, but relatively safe because when he went up to the banks of the Masai River and we were cutting through where the wildebeest they cross into Tanzania, I kind of wondering if the crocodiles weren't in the water, were they inside the bushes? And so I have to be honest, Robert, I was a little bit scared going through the bush at one point. And but when we didn't see any crocodiles, then it was all right. But then just to see the massive hippopotamus when he pumps himself and went down in the water, there's like a submarine. And he made that sound and they made that sound and go down. That was like you were in some kind of a hell. That's some power there, folks. And some of you may know that the hippopotamus are the most dangerous. Well, let's put it this way: they kill more people in Africa than even the lion. They're more dangerous than anything else. So that was the experience. So yes, I was to be answer your question. I was a little bit scared walking along the banks of the Masai River with the guide, although he had his gun. Yeah, yeah, man. So what we're gonna do in the next series of videos, Shippy the Explorer gonna bring you back to Neboanse and just have you just show the experience, the culture, the people, the market. We're gonna find a video there with the largest animal market in the world the largest market that I ever been to, and that's gonna be an exciting thing. I don't want to tell you there you have chickens and goats and sheep and cows and dogs and well they're not eating the dogs because I really asked about that. They they tend to trade the dogs, but I know if they were in another country, the dogs would be gone too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shirley saying hi. Welcome to the station, folks. Hi, welcome. Yes, yeah. So that was a massive thing. And on that video, when you get to see it, you'll see how they operate. Anybody can bring their their animal to the market. They just bring a rope tight and bring it to the market. And you stand there and somebody comes up and say, "Oh, I like this one." And you start to bargain. You barter. If you want, come and have your $100 for your cow. it's possible that you're probably going to leave there not getting $100 because somebody is going to like your cow and negotiate with you. They're going to be talking you down, saying, you know, um, yes, too mager, something like that, too meager. And so that's one of the things. Then when you make the agreement, suppose you see a cow that you really want and you negotiate with the person. What they do, you go down to the office and you present your the seller present whether ID, whether not driver's license, but some form of a national ID to the personnel inside, and they document that this person sold a cow to another person on this day, and so they you can pay the fee for that trans, tran, pay the fee for that transaction, that registration, and then you pay the person, you get the money from the person, then handing the cow to the buyer. A person comes up to you and sells you a new rope. So you can take off the seller's rope from around the cow or the goat and put on that new rope. You have to buy a new rope. The new rope is an indication that you have purchased the animal. You have paid for it. If you have the old rope, that means you're stealing it. If you have a new rope, that means you have paid for the animal. And then you can take that animal out of the compound because it was registered. Because I suspect some people, mm, you have dishonesty all over the world. So I suspect somebody might have stole somebody's goat, bring them to the market and trying to sell it. So to register the sale, that allows you that allows you to protect the buyer and the seller at the same time. Yeah. So the let's talk about the landscape of Neboanse. It's seems like it's a valley that's slightly sloping towards the streams or the rivers in the valley, and beautiful, rich soil. When you plant in the corn there, the corn is you see the videos. The corns are just standing up like soldiers. I'm telling you, looks beautiful. And and then the rain comes, and then oh, Robert is asking if I did I buy the land. I was tempted to, but we have a policy with the family that we don't buy anything too far away. But I'm telling you, if I was a younger person, I'd probably break that ruling, because 5 years ago the land was selling $2,500 a acre, and I'm gonna tell you, I not even wanted to guess. Right now, if you're trying to buy land near Migori, or you're near uh, Kisuma, or in Neboansi or anything like that, you're paying close to $10,000, between $6,000 and $10,000 an acre. So an investment could have been made maybe 5 years ago, when you could, if you have say $100,000, you could probably have bought 20 acres of land, and now you could be probably selling them at $10,000 an acre. So that's an investment. So for that purpose, the temptation was there to buy. Because even now, for those of us in the Americas, we have a little bit more resources. Well, yes, that's better than the stock market. That's in a year or two, 2 years, you're more than doubling your money, tripling your money. That's big investment, man. And I don't think it's gonna stop. I think it's gonna the price of it gonna go up because in the space of one generation, the families in that valley, in the neighborhood of Kenya and so forth, and maybe Tanzania, they are moving away from mud houses to concrete blocks and stone homes in one generation. So the value of land and property and buildings and so forth is just gonna jump. It's just Africa is on the rise. It's not That's what I think. Anybody who has money and can go and invest. Well, I know a little inside thing about Kenya now. I think Mara told me that you can't buy land unless you can stay, I think, 90 days. You can buy a land if you can get a 90-day visa because you have to be there for a little while. Or people like the citizens of Kenya, they can buy it in trust. They buy it in their name, and I think in your name, and they kind of take control of the property until it's able to transfer over. Or you can keep it in their name until you can resell it. So that's the situation there now. In Ethiopia, you can't buy a thing as a foreigner, as far as I heard. So that's blocked out. And the only place I would buy in Ethiopia, man, in Addis Ababa, it's in a valley, somewhat in a valley. It's on a plateau too. But around Addis Ababa is a mountain, in total mountain, I think. And I went up there, and it's one of the most beautiful scene, and it overlooks the city. The mountains have from number 180 degrees surrounds the city, looking down into Addis Ababa. And guess what? On top of the mountain, who lives up there? Poor people. Poor people on top of the mountain. Cool forest area, beautiful. And the rich people are down in town. Now, if I was going to buy in Ethiopia, I would be going to the mountain because that's where I'm coming from, a culture where we build on top, where we love to be on top of the mountain. And because we want to look down into the city lights at night. But in Ethiopia, you can't buy anything as far as a foreigner. You would have to have a partnership with folks, and so that's the difference between the countries. But the I was surprised the soil in Kenya too is dark and rich, you know, and not as red and well, red soil don't necessarily means that it's not rich, but the soil in uh, Nairobi and not Nairobi, but Nigeria and like and Sierra Leone and so forth, they're kind of reddish. So maybe that's because of the West African side, but East African seems it's dark, rich soil. Yeah, so that's uh, that's the perspective of the trip. So now we're Shippy the Explorer. Where we're going with this station is to just keep on traveling and exposing the world to people, to folks who really want to be entertained. And now and then I can get into some spiritual aspect, and some of the videos I get into communication and advice and advising people and telling my perspective on certain topics. But for the most part, it's gonna be travel vlogs, and when I sometimes I get into family get together, then we'll present that. Once I don't have music blaring away, then um, that's that's um, that's uh, that's also bad for the station, because if you have once you have music being picked up in the video, then then it's you're gonna get copyright. Yes, yeah. So um, trust that everybody is doing all right, and oh, there's a question from Robert. He says, "Where do I get the money to travel all the time?" Um, well, tell you the truth, I've worked ever since I come to this country. I've been in this country from 1979 and working my butt off. I used to clean filth. I did all sorts of things. I cleaned floor, filth, toilet, um, climbed trees, cut trees. I um, I think I have done 23 different types of job in United States. And I didn't come to this country as a dumb bat. I came as an educated college person, a young teacher. But when I came to United States, I realized the best thing to do is work. So I've worked in the kitchen, I worked in McDonald's, I worked in not McDonald's, but Gina's. I've worked in construction, I've cleaned the floors, I've painted walls, I've dug trenches, I've and I've built homes. And then when I finally get settled down in this country, I I have went back to my skill area as a construction technologist, where I'm a punch out person and a manager for uh, not really real estate. Yes, I'm for real estate, but a customer help desk supervision. I won't tell you the organization I work, but I worked 24 years as a facilities operation supervisor. And all the problems of a building comes to me, and then I have to find workers. So some money, some money is there. Um, some money based on investment. And since I'm retired now, a few dollars come from a retirement, government retirement funds. So I'm able to just, why not spend some of that? Yes, Kitty, welcome to the station. Why not spend some of that money? At my age, I look like I'm 50. How old do you think I am? So now so why not spend some of that money to make myself more informed, more entertained? As a retired person, I need to talk about that. If you're retiring, you need to have some form of hobby or something you can do. Do it for yourself or for others. Best if you do for others. But if you find something that you love and you're not physically sick and you can get around in the world, and if you don't want to deal with people, that's the thing. But if you just want to tour around or work with people, then or animals, or just an environmentalist, but find something that you really love, then then um, then life is it makes it more worthwhile if you if you if you can find something that you really enjoy. Yeah. So money comes in. You just plan for it, save up, and when after 6 months or a year or so, then maybe every 2 years or every year you can make a major trip. And the more I travel is the more I realize there you can really budget yourself better than what I've been doing. Because when you go on the road, it seems like you're being targeted as a tourist, and people charge you anything that comes to their mind. They just charge you, you know. So you have to learn how to barter or discuss. Well, now the airlines are so and train stations are so bus tickets are standard, but taxis, watch out for the taxi guys. Them anywhere in the world, I think taxes are tricky people, and the people in the market too. Not blaming, not quarreling anybody, but I'm just saying for people who travel, look out for the taxi guys and the market people because they look at you and you put on any old clothes as much as you want. Even if you go to your own country, if we say for instance we are from Jamaica, we go to Jamaica, they smell you out and pick you out in a jiffy. So you can't hide, no matter what you do. It's just a matter if you know, if you can go with a local person, then that person can guide you, maybe do the purchasing and talk for you. And that helps. But as a tourist, you are identified as soon as you come off the plane. Can't hide. So that's where little money come from. And if you're a serious YouTuber, maybe a little on down the road, sometimes a few dollars come in where you can cover some of your expenses. That's why you see a lot of us, we say subscribe, share, and subscribe to the station, because the more you build up your subscribers list, then it helps. You can later on you can get a few dollars to cover some of your travel expenses. So some people make money out of YouTubing, but for the most part, most people are not making as much as we think. Some people are not making any, so it takes a while. It's hard work, and it's hard work, and so um, it's you just have to go at it. Yeah, I'm telling you. Um, Yeah, so that's what Shippy the Explorer is. We're talking about today. We're talking about the trip, bringing you update to the trip. If you have any question, you can put that in the question. I see Robert has been asking some good questions. So anybody else asking, you can ask questions about the trip, and I see if I can answer them before we close off. Yeah. So it was a wonderful trip though. I have been to other parts of the world and I've had similar experiences, but this one really pushed the concept of YouTubing up to another level. And I must say thanks to all of you guys who have contributed, subscribe to the stations, and really keeping abreast of this channel, make it seems make it vibrant and informative and really worthwhile that people sit down and listen to what I have to offer. Yeah, so that's YouTubing, and yeah, um, it has allowed us to travel various parts of the world. I think I mentioned that before, but we're in really, I mean, really enjoying it. You know, When you go, going to a place like India. And I need to go back to India, where I didn't start to do vlogging when I went to India. But oh yes, I like to garden in my home. Um, well, it's on the balcony now because Meg, welcome, welcome. Very interesting. Thanks very much. I like to, if I could show you my garden in the back. I had tomatoes. I have strawberries. I have planted corn, potatoes, and all that. But guess what? In Maryland, in this back, you look at the back of me. Some trees down there are 50 feet tall, 70 feet tall. And in that forest down behind me, we have, guess what? You think you're in a safari. I have deers. I have fox. I have groundhogs. I have squirrels. I have raccoon. I have possum. And what else? Think I said groundhog too? Yes. So I have at least six different um, animals, ground animals. And guess what? They love people's garden. They love people's garden, I'm telling you. Yes. And it's amazing, man. So when they come in, they just eat like crazy. So I love my gardening, but if I could show it to you, it have to be fenced up. So on this balcony, it's 15 feet off the ground. So we're doing some potted plants up here, and that's that's what we're doing. Right now we're gonna have tomatoes on the balcony, and we have some strawberries, and that's it. And in the front we still have some strawberries, and I've planted some black beans in the garden. So, and I love my fruit trees. So we have a thing called persimmon. It looks like tomato, but if we could get the trees bare and hold on, it's a good crop. It looks, as I said, looks like tomato, but it's very sweet when it's in fall. And I don't have any. We have some wild pears and so forth, and some plum trees. Yeah. So that's what we do in Maryland. Um, Sooner or later you'll see the trees start to they just get fuller and fuller, and the white ones you see it behind me, this dogwood. It's not edible, but this one is called serviceberry, and it bears something almost like a raspberry or blueberry, but it's redder. And believe it or not, I eat a bowl of that when it's really good. But my wife said one of these days I'm going to kill myself with these fruits, as I tend to eat everything. But it tastes real good. And tell you the truth, I think I feel a little tipsy when I eat that. So I haven't had it for a while. Yes. So that's what it's all about. Bringing up the date with this trip, and oops, come on, wasp is trying to sting. So that's this is Shippy the Explorer. I say thanks for spending the time with us this afternoon. And I see another schedule for another live, but tomorrow morning. But I'm not sure about that. We'll see how that goes. And because I need to bring you some more videos so we can discuss them and discuss where we go from 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 here on. And so I think I say thanks for watching. Thanks for thanks for sharing. Thanks for discussion. Have a good day, Shippy. Thanks, Robert. Thanks for all the questions. And I'll see you guys on another live, or see you on the movement, Shippy the Explorer, exploring the world on your behalf. So take care. I say, have a good day. Be good to yourself and others. And Shippy saying bye for now. Until the next video or live. Have a good day.